It's fine.
What do $8.5 billion dancing and 6'3" college athletes have in common? The answer is March Madness, technically known as the NCAA basketball tournament. This tournament has been played since 1939. 140 million people will tune in each year to watch this tournament played, and less than half of them will actually know the history and how the bracket was put together. Like I said, the first tournament was played in 1939 at Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. Oregon Ducks were the first winners ever of the National Basketball Tournament. Utah State actually took third in this tournament for a fun fact. The tournament has changed so much since 1939. The first change took place in 1951, taking it from an 8-team tournament to a 16-team tournament, doubling it in size. It then doubled again in 1965 from 16 teams to 32 teams. It doubled one more time in 1985 from 32 teams to 64 teams, and took its final change in 2011 to 68 teams. Another change that took place in the NCAA basketball tournament is the name. While not officially the name has changed, the unofficial official name of the National Basketball Tournament is March Madness. This refers to the tournament because the tournament is played all through March and into the first week of April. A few key terms you'll have to understand if you're going to be talking about, listening to, or watching March Madness are the Big Dance, Cinderella, Bracketology, Bracket Buster, Cutting Down the Net, and the Warren Buffett Bracket Challenge. Cinderella refers to a team that is a low seed in the tournament. They're not supposed to go far, they're supposed to go out in the first 2 rounds and do way better than expected. This team can go into the Sweet 16, Elite 8, or can be one of your bracket busters. A bracket buster refers to a team who lets you down big time. These bracket buster teams often are Duke, North Carolina, Gonzaga, Virginia, Villanova. These are big teams who have been known to win a lot. And what they do is lose in the first 2 rounds and ruin everybody's bracket, which then brings us to the Warren Buffett Bracket Challenge, and now you know why these bracket buster teams are such a big deal. Warren Buffett has made a challenge that anyone who can make a perfect bracket, yes, a perfect bracket, every game predicted correctly, will win $1 million a year for the rest of their life. This, though, is impossible. The chances of making a perfect bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion odds. So this would take you 292 trillion years, yes, 292 trillion to make a perfect bracket. And at this speed, you would have to fill out 1 bracket per second, according to Business Insider. The average time it takes to fill out a bracket is 5.3 minutes. So good luck to you. So the way that these brackets are made is through a selection committee. This selection committee is made up of experts and individuals who know all about the sport. There are 2 ways to get into the bracket. The first way is known as an automatic qualifier. An automatic qualifier refers to a team who has won their conference tournament. There are 32 different conferences all throughout the United States, and each hold a tournament individually in February. The winner of this conference tournament has an automatic qualification into the March Madness tournament and is going dancing. So the Pac-12, for example, because we live here in Utah, the Pac-12 plays their tournament in Las Vegas every February. If the University of Utah were to win the Pac-12 tournament, they would have an automatic qualification into March Madness. This was done last year by Utah State. They won their conference tournament and went dancing. Another way to get into the tournament is with an at-large bid. This at-large bid is made through the selection committee and is based off of an RPI. An RPI refers to a team's schedule, their wins and losses, and their strength of schedule. So if there's a team who's winning big but did not happen to win their conference tournament, which happens many times between Duke and North Carolina, both those teams still have the opportunity to go to the March Madness tournament. Once they get to the tournament, Selection Sunday is announced and everyone gets their bracket. You then can start to fill out brackets and go for that Warren Buffett challenge. Brackets are divided like this. You have 64 teams and you're divided into 4 different regions. You have your East, South, West, and Midwest regions. These have nothing to do with where a team is from, it's just how the regions are divided. These teams then are divided into 4 regions with 16 teams apiece. These 16 teams will be seeded 1 through 16. 1 obviously being the best seed and 16 being the worst. With these 16 teams, they'll play in a round of 64, 32, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, and then have a national championship. A national championship will take place, and that's when cutting down the net happens. These players will be able to cut down part of the net and have a piece of it to keep with them forever. This is how the national championship tournament works, and this is how a bracket is. Hopefully this year, or next year coming in 2020, you'll be one of the 140 million who are able to watch the tournament, know the history, and understand how to fill out your bracket, and maybe even have a chance of winning $1 million.